Hi, everyone. It's Anita Berry with Johnston and Stewart here to recap this week of the 2023 legislative session. This was our second week, and it featured a lot of priority legislation led by the governor, the speaker, and the president, continuing to move quickly through the committee process and down to the floor. Both chambers are quickly working on crafting their proposed budgets, and the House is actually expecting to release theirs as early as next Friday. This afternoon, the House passed HB 1, which will significantly expand Florida's school voucher program, expanding school choice and providing additional financial supports for families. The Senate companion bill passed its first committee this week. The bill is a priority for House Speaker Paul Renner. Senate Bill 240, Education by Senator Hudson, passed its first committee of reference in the Senate this week, among many other legislative changes to help enforce workforce education opportunities. The bill provides $100 million for district school boards and colleges to fund the creation or expansion of career and technical education programs that serve secondary students. As mentioned last week, several bills are also moving through the committee process that address school board member elections. House Bill 31 by Representative Roach proposes an amendment to the state constitution to require members of school boards to be elected in partisan elections. That bill passed its final committee this week and is now ready for the House floor. The Senate companion passed its first committee this week, but still has two committees left to go. In addition, House Bill 477, which would create term limits for school board members, was passed off the House floor earlier today. On the healthcare side, legislation to expand kid care eligibility passed its first committee of reference in both the House and Senate. The bill has been made a priority by the House Speaker and would expand eligibility for kid care, which offers affordable healthcare access for children. That eligibility threshold would move from 250% of the federal poverty level up to 300%. In local government news, bills passed in both the House and Senate this week that would authorize local governments to install speed detection systems in school zones. This would mirror red light camera legislation that passed several years ago. The bills have two committee stops left to go in each chamber, with the Senate bill actually already being scheduled for its second committee stop next week. House Bill 3, another priority of our House Speaker, passed its final committee this week. This is the ESG bill that the governor has been promoting as well. The bill would prevent environmental, social, and governance standards from being considered when investing government money. So far, the Senate bill has not yet been heard in committee. Tort reform has become a priority this session, not only for the business community, but also for leadership in both chambers and the governor. Since being introduced, both bills, House Bill 837 and Senate Bill 236, have moved very quickly through the committee process, with the House bill passing off the floor earlier today and the Senate bill passing its final committee of reference just yesterday. At this point, the House and Senate bills are pretty closely aligned and have received high praise from groups like the Florida Chamber, who believe the bill will save businesses money from costly and frivolous lawsuits. Every year, we see legislation to try to regulate vacation rentals. This year is no different. Senate Bill 714 by Senator DeSegli would address regulation of vacation rentals. That bill passed its first committee this week after being temporarily postponed in committee last week. Like we have seen in years past, the bill preserves local ordinances that were adopted prior to June 2011, which would effectively grandfather the City of Clearwater's ordinance. The ordinance could then only be changed to be either less restrictive or to comply with the bill's registration requirements. The House bill has not yet been heard so far. Legislation has been introduced the last year or so, but has never gained traction, but is starting to move this year, that would address the resale of tickets. That bill moved through its first Senate committee on Monday. Senate Bill 388 by Senator Bradley would allow tickets to be resold by any method of the ticket holder's choosing. Many entertainment venues have become engaged against this issue. The House bill has not yet been heard in its first committee. House Bill 5, another priority of House Speaker Renner, would abolish Enterprise Florida. That's the program that helps to incentivize businesses to come to the state. The bill passed its first committee of reference this week. So far, there's no Senate companion that has currently been filed. Finally, a bill addressing state enforcement of federal immigration laws passed its first committee in the Senate. That bill, amongst many other things, would create fines for businesses who hire undocumented migrants. That is certainly something that we are watching for our business community. The House bill has not yet been heard. So a lot going on in Tallahassee this week. We expect a lot more to continue to happen next week, and we will continue to keep y'all updated on everything going on within the 2023 legislative session. Thank you so much.